You know, when I first heard about this whole Hoda Kotb believing today thing, I gotta admit, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah,
17 years is a long time.
it is.
And she really felt like, part of the furniture almost on that show.
Right.
And it just got me thinking, like, there's got to be more to this than just like, oh, I'm switching jobs.
Yeah, the timing is interesting, right?
Yeah.
Especially when today's doing so well, ratings-wise.
Right.
There are definitely layers to this.
Okay, so for this deep dive, then you shared that New York Times piece about her exit, and I am ready to unpack it all.
Okay.
So what makes Hoda's departure such a big deal? And not just for morning TV, but maybe even for how we think about work and life in general.
Well, to understand the significance of this moment, we need to rewind a bit.
Yeah.
Hoda's career trajectory is fascinating.
Okay.
She didn't just pop up on Today one day.
Right.
Paid her dues.
Yeah.
Starting with local news. Before landing that correspondent role on Dateline.
Right. Right.
It wasn't until she joined the 10 a.m. hour of Today that she really found her groove.
Yeah, and that's where she really connected with viewers in this, like, incredibly personal way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, you have these morning shows with these, like, perfectly coiffed hosts.
Right.
And they often have this very manufactured feel.
Yeah.
But Hoda, with her glass of wine.
Exactly.
And candid conversations about everything, from motherhood to cancer, she just felt different.
You've hit on something crucial there.
Okay.
In a landscape of these polished personas, Hoda offered authenticity.
Yeah.
She wasn't afraid to be vulnerable,
Right.
to laugh at herself,
Yeah.
to show the ups and downs of life,
Right.
all while discussing, serious news,
Yeah.
interviewing major figures.
It was refreshing.
Very much so.
Particularly for women who may have felt unseen or misrepresented in mainstream media.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was like she gave permission to kind of be your real self, even with bedhead and that first cup of coffee.
Exactly.
But we also can't ignore the business side of this, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Today is a huge deal for NBC.
Huge. We're talking serious money here.
Okay.
Morning shows like Today are cash cows.
Really?
Oh, yeah, when it comes to ad revenue.
Wow.
Think about it. They reach a massive audience at the beginning of their day.
Right.
Prime time for influencing purchasing decisions.
That's interesting.
You've got everything from product placement deals to ad slots targeted at specific demographics.
Oh.
And those minutes of airtime are incredibly valuable.
Okay, so big money, big audience, but also fierce competition, right?
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned earlier that the ratings are interesting right now.
Right. So while Good Morning America have the overall viewership lead,
Okay.
Today is currently winning.
Okay.
The coveted under 54 demographic.
Interesting.
That's the sweet spot
Okay.
for advertisers.
This makes sense.
The viewers with more disposable income.
Right.
And who are more likely to be influenced by what they see on these shows.
So losing Hoda, even if they are ahead with that demographic, it's a risk for NBC.
It is a risk. Yeah, there's no guarantee that audience is going to stick around
Right.
without that familiar face, that
okay.
connection
Yeah.
they had with Hoda.
And it puts even more pressure on finding her replacement.
100%.
And this isn't the first time Today has had to navigate a high-profile departure, right?
That's true.
The whole Matt Lauer situation back in 2017, that had to have been a major turning point for the show.
It was a seismic shift.
Yeah.
For Today, when Lauer was fired amidst that huge scandal,
Right.
it left this credibility gap,
Yeah.
a sense of uncertainty,
Yeah,
both for the show and for its viewers.
for sure.
Hoda, alongside Savannah Guthrie,
Right.
really stepped up during that time.
They did.
Navigating a very difficult situation.
For sure.
With a lot of grace and empathy.
They really were a calming presence
Yes.
in what had to have been an incredibly turbulent time.
Oh, absolutely.
And didn't that experience further cement Hoda's image as someone trustworthy, to viewers?
Absolutely. She wasn't just delivering the news.
Right.
She was acknowledging the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Being honest about the impact of what had happened.
Right.
And helping viewers process it all.
Right.
That period solidified her connection
Yeah.
with the audience, establishing her as someone who not only informs, but also understands and empathizes.
It's interesting because even though she wasn't brought in to be the moral compass of the show,
Right.
that's kind of what happened organically.
And that's the power of authenticity.
Yeah.
You can't manufacture that kind of trust and connection.
No.
It has to be earned.
Right.
And Hoda, through her own vulnerability and willingness to be her true self on air,
Yeah.
really earned it.
Okay, so she's a trusted voice. She's a fan favorite,
Mm-hmm.
and she's leaving at a time when the show is performing well.
Right.
It makes you wonder, like, why walk away now?
Well, if we look closely at what Hoda herself has said
Yeah.
about this decision, it provides some insight, I think, into her motivations.
Okay.
In that New York Times article you shared,
Mm-hmm.
she talks about wanting to, quote, turn the page
Guys?
to be more present for her two daughters,
Right.
especially after her youngest daughter's recent health scare.
So this is about family, about priorities shifting.
It seems to be very much so, yeah.
And it makes you think about the pressures,
Mm.
especially for women in demanding careers, of trying to have it all.
It's a pressure that resonates far beyond the world of morning television.
Right. Yeah, for sure. It's a question we all grapple with, right? I mean, it's not like we're all on morning television or anything.
Right.
But Hoda's decision,
Mm-hmm.
it's like she's holding up a mirror in a way to, like, our own lives.
It is a reminder that there are no easy answers.
Yeah.
These are real complex issues.
Mm.
And Hoda, by stepping away,
Right.
isn't just making a personal choice.
Yeah.
She's also sparking a conversation
Right.
that's very relevant to a lot of people.
So NBC has a big job on their hands now.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to find a replacement for Hoda.
Yep.
Someone who can not only deliver the news,
Right.
but also capture that same sense of connection
Right.
with viewers.
It's not going to be easy.
Right.
It's a daunting task.
Yeah.
And it's one they can't take lightly.
No.
The chemistry on these shows is crucial.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to replicate. You can't just hire someone with the same credentials or even the same skills.
Right.
It has to be someone who fits in seamlessly with the dynamic
Yeah.
of the show.
And you mentioned before that there are some internal possibilities.
Yeah.
Someone like Jenna Bush Hager,
Right.
who already has a great rapport with the audience.
She does. It's tempting to look within
Right.
the existing cast,
Yeah.
especially when you have a strong contender
Yeah.
like Jenna.
Yeah.
She's a familiar face.
Yeah.
She's got, natural charisma,
Yeah.
and she's already comfortable
Right.
in the format.
But there's always that gamble of, like, bringing in someone completely new.
100%.
Right. Someone who might shake things up,
Totally.
bring a different energy,
Mhm.
a different point of view.
It's a risk. But it could also be incredibly exciting.
It could be.
It's a balancing act, for sure.
Yeah.
NBC will have to weigh the potential benefits of continuity
Right.
against the risk of disrupting the status quo.
But what about Hoda?
Right.
She's stepping away from today,
Yeah.
but it's not like she's retiring, right?
Right.
The article you shared mentioned something about the, quote, wellness space.
Yeah, and that's the big question mark right now.
Right.
It's a vague description,
Right.
but it hints at a desire to explore something new,
Okay.
something more personal.
Right.
Maybe she's going to write a book.
Yeah.
Maybe she's going to start a lifestyle brand.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's going to launch a line of organic wines. Who knows?
Right. Any of those options sound pretty exciting.
They do.
But I have to admit, I'm a little curious to see what she chooses.
Her career has been so unpredictable,
Right.
so unconventional.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine her following a predictable path.
It really is.
Local news, then Dateline, and then she stumbles into becoming this morning show icon.
Right.
It's almost like she's defying expectations,
It's like she's saying, here's my life.
right?
It's messy. It's full of surprises.
Mhm.
And I'm not afraid to embrace it all.
And that's a powerful message,
It is.
a message that resonates with a lot of us.
Yeah.
We're not always going to have a straight line. We're
Mhm.
not always going to know what's coming next.
And that's okay.
Exactly.
Maybe it's time to stop chasing that perfect plan
Mm-hmm.
and start embracing those unexpected turns.
What's fascinating here is how often these unexpected turns end up leading us to the most fulfilling paths.
We might not always be able to control what happens, but
Right.
we can choose how we react to it.
100%.
We can choose to be open to new opportunities, to trust our gut instincts,
Yeah.
and to be brave enough to redefine success on our own terms.
And that's something to think about, right?
It is.
What unexpected turns might be waiting for you?
It's something to ponder,
It is.
and perhaps even something to actively seek out.
I like that.
As always, it's a pleasure sharing these insights with you.
It's always a pleasure to explore these multifaceted topics.
Indeed. So, until next time, keep an eye out for those unexpected turns.
Good advice.
In your own life, you never know where they might lead you. It really makes you think, about the winding paths our lives take.
It does.
Hoda's story is a great example, right? Absolutely.
She didn't start out like,
Okay.
I'm going to be this morning show icon.
Exactly.
It kind of just, it found her.
It happened organically.
Yeah. Yeah, so who knows,
Yeah.
right? What unexpected opportunities might be waiting for us, right?
Exactly. And sometimes those detours
Yeah.
lead to even more fulfilling destinations
Nice.
than we originally planned.
Than we ever could have imagined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hoda's decision, I think, reminds us all
Mm-hmm.
that it's okay to reevaluate, to shift gears,
Yeah.
to embrace those unexpected turns in life.
Yeah, to redefine what success looks like.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
It's about having the courage to define success on your own terms, which again might look different
Of course.
at different stages of life, right?
Mhm.
Precisely. Yeah, and perhaps Hoda's next chapter will inspire others to do the same.
Yeah.
To step back, reassess, and say,
Yeah.
what matters most to me right now?
It's been fascinating to kind of unpack all this with you.
Likewise.
We covered Hoda's impressive journey, the business of morning TV,
Mhm.
and even, I think, uncovered some thought-provoking questions about our own priorities.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to explore these multifaceted topics.
It is. So until next time.
To be continued.
Right, to be continued.